The woman just whistled at the baby. The next moment, the crying baby quieted down. Then the woman put her right hand over one ear. She talked to the baby with her mind. After that, she opened her treasure chest and put an amulet on the baby. Her assistant put her hands together, and she kept chanting sutras. Then she opened the baby's eyelids. She saw a shadow in the pupil. She realized what was going on. It turned out that the baby had been crying since birth. Even the experts couldn't do anything. They had to bring Diviner N over. After understanding the situation, she called all the family members into the room. Annie asked if there was any genetic history in the family, like his father and grandfather. Then they took Annie to a cottage. Then they met the baby's father, Jack. Jack said he had a brother who was mentally ill. He died in a mental hospital. And from that day on, that's when his son became like this. He also had nightmares. He dreamed that someone was choking him. Annie heard the description. She explained that it was a genetic disorder. It's also called a bloodline inheritance. He saw a shadow on the baby's body. That shadow suppresses the bloodline of their offspring. There must be something wrong with his family's ancestral tomb. It's likely that the coffin wasn't placed correctly. It causes him to sleep very uncomfortably. That's why he seeks trouble from his offspring. Something like this. We must ask her master John to handle it. John is performing the ceremony of opening the coffin. He grabbed a handful of dirt from the grave, put it in his mouth and tasted it. After making sure it's okay, he asked his assistant to open the coffin, with the sound of a slogan. The family members all came to watch. However, just as the assistant was cleaning up, suddenly he found a solid gold necklace, and greedily put it in his pocket. He didn't realize that this action had harmed himself. John was talking to the deceased's family. Annie walked in with Jack. She told the master about Jack's family. John heard about the ancestral grave. They had to dig up the ancestral grave, and then cremate it in order to dissolve it, and told Jack to go back and get ready. Jack went home and told his mother. His mother immediately refused. She never believed in ghosts and spirits, rushed to persuade him not to do so. Those soothsayers are all in it for the money. Maybe the child would be fine after a while. At first Jack didn't believe it either, but seeing his son in constant agony, he was heartbroken. So the next day he found John, agreed to cremate his grandfather's bones, but he had two conditions. First, the digging of the ancestral grave must be kept secret. The second was that the coffin must not be opened. The coffin must be cremated together, because he hid this from his parents. He didn't want to upset his father. John agreed without much thought. Then he drove John towards the cemetery. When they arrived, and was struck by a strange feeling. She'd never seen a grave buried on a hilltop before. She also noticed 3 foxes watching them. At first, Annie didn't think much of it. Soon they saw the grave. John pinched a bit of dirt from the grave, and put it in his mouth and tasted it. Then his expression was instantly shocked. He looked at the tombstone of the grave. It was an unmarked tombstone. There was only a string of numbers next to the headstone. It was all full of strangeness.